Brought to you by Penguin.
The End of Enlightenment by Richard Whatmore, read by Ben Onwukwe. Introduction 1. On the 8th of August, 1776, the political economist Adam Smith visited his great friend David Hume at his home in Edinburgh. For the past 2 years, Hume had been declining. Although physicians were divided about the nature of the disease, it was evident from the severe pain he felt and the acute loss of weight he'd experienced that he was dying. An ill-advised trip to Bath to take the waters in the summer of 1776 further weakened him. On the 4th of July, just as the American Declaration of Independence was being signed in Philadelphia, Hume returned to Scotland to dine with his closest friends and to make final alterations to his works and will. There had been some speculation that the famous skeptic might embrace the Christian faith before he died, but this had been firmly put aside weeks before. In a conversation about his soul with the lawyer James Boswell, Hume playfully maintained that, when he heard a man was religious, he concluded he was a rascal, though he had known some instances of very good men being religious. In Smith's company, Hume was much more candid. Together they discussed the prognosis, and Hume assured his friend that a contented end was near. As they conversed, he informed Smith that he had been reading Lucian's Dialogues of the Dead, and imagining the excuses he might give to Charon for not entering into his boat ferrying the dead across the River Styx to the underworld. The first excuse was that Hume was very busy, correcting my works for a new edition, to which the imaginary Charon would patiently reply, "When you have seen the effect of these, you will be for making other alterations. There will be no end of such excuses, so, honest friend, please step into the boat." The second excuse was a little grander. "I have been endeavouring to open the eyes of the public. If I live a few years longer, I may have the satisfaction of seeing the downfall of some of the prevailing systems of superstition." Charon's reply was significant. Through it, Hume admitted that the systems of superstition remained powerful and were unlikely to soon be broken. But Charon would then lose all temper and decency. "You loitering rogue! That will not happen these many 100 years. Do you fancy I will grant you a lease for so long a term? Get into the boat this instant, you lazy, loitering rogue." For much of his life, Hume had held that the great achievement of 18th century Britain was that its religious institutions, those systems of superstition, resembled little more but in name their predecessors, who flourished during the civil wars, and who were the authors of such disorder. Zeal and bigotry, he believed, had been replaced by more tolerant and calmer instances of Christian commitment. Hume was attacked for downplaying the link between Protestantism and the civil liberties enjoyed by modern Britons living in their professedly free state. He was violently criticised for playing down the role of the Reformation in contemporary national life, portraying contemporary Protestants as being lesser vessels of the Word of God than their forebears. Hume shrugged off such predictable animosity. What mattered most to Hume during this time was that Europe had finally escaped the bloody sectarian conflicts of the past 200 years and found itself, instead, experiencing an enlightenment comprising of peace, toleration, and moderation. During the 16th and 17th centuries.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?